everybody. I'm here with Reed, Scott, and Hannah Waddingham. Give it up. No kid should ever go hungry, especially at school. Sadly, this school year, U.S. students have run up nearly $20 million in school lunch debt, and the number continues to climb. We'll get to the reasons behind that in a minute, but first, take a look at a teacher in Utah doing something about it. So he posted a TikTok promising to pay off the lunch debt of his students. So far, he's raised $30,000, so it's a start. Wow. And that makes him best in class, y'all. Please welcome Garrett, better known as Mr. Jones, to his students. Meet Hannah, meet Reed. So So you're a middle school teacher, so tell us about your students. Yeah, so I teach 7th and 8th grade. I teach a class called College and Career Awareness, and then a class called Digital Literacy, where we learn about the internet. Yeah. And I love teaching. It's my 5th year. I love so many parts about the job. We have a lot of different demographics in our little town, where we have a lot of really wealthy people and then not so much. So one of the parts I don't love about my job is every couple weeks, teachers are asked to give, and if you've ever been in public school, you're probably familiar with this, but we're asked to give them like a little slip that says like, this is how much you owe for lunch. You need to take care of this balance. And it's a bummer to have to do that, right? And no matter how discreet you try and be or secretive or whatever, it's always just kind of an embarrassing exchange. And it's always the same 5 or 6 kids. And it feels like a lot to put on a 12 or 13-year-old. So that's kind of why I've been thinking about it. And would affect them, obviously, yeah. So you noticed this problem is getting worse. Why do you think? So I think there's a lot to it, right? The last 2 years, we've had federal funding for lunch and breakfast for every student because of COVID. Via COVID, yeah. Yeah, so it wasn't an issue at all. And so people kind of stopped thinking about it. And we gave them this like nice little security blanket, and then that funding went away, and we kind of just ripped it away, right? So that's part of it. I think another part of it is just so many people are struggling right now. Things are so expensive. So like there are so many people just outside of the threshold where they can qualify for free and reduced lunch, but they're still really struggling. So those are parts of it. But no matter what the variables are, I don't think it really matters because the end result of all that is that there are kids at school that are hungry. And you can't learn like that too when you're starving. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a... It's already hard enough to get kids to focus in the first place, you know? There's the thing we talk about in education. It's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And the very bottom of it is like the physiological stuff, food, water, and rest. And if they don't have food, like you said, literally they can't learn. It affects it, obviously. Yeah, that domino effect. So Hannah, I've heard that there's been a lot of work to have better school lunches for kids in the UK as well, right?
Yeah, there was a big offensive in England to not only raise free food for kids, but also the nutritional level. So everything had to have a certain nutritional level. Yeah.
Well, what happened when you posted your video?
So the response was insane, immediate, and just like overwhelming. Like within a day, we had raised like $10,000.
Wow.
And then it's amazing, right? Yeah. Wow. And then within a few days, it got all the way up to 30,000. And what really struck me about it was, and you can see some of this in the comments of the video, but most people, the more private stuff, they put as a comment, like in the Venmo donation, so it was only me seeing it. And all these donations, like $1, $2, $3, like it really was just like a communal thing of just like, here's a couple bucks. But what really struck me was like, almost every single comment said like, this was me, like I was the kid.
Oh. Yeah.
Like, I don't want that to happen to anyone else. Like, so we just need, we need permanent solutions. We need boots on the ground.
It's shameful, really.
Yeah,
it has to be called out.
Yeah, we need people to reach out and say like to their representatives, like, this is a cause that I support. This is a good use of our money. Like, let's figure it out.
Most politicians would get behind, right? It's like, who doesn't want to help? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, my mom was a public school art teacher for 30 years.
Oh, yeah?
So I saw firsthand. I have no idea how many thousands of dollars over her career she probably spent on her own materials to bring in because the public school system couldn't afford to stock her art room with what they need. Yeah. My kids are in public school here in Los Angeles, and we make as many donations as we possibly can to sort of supplement what the teachers need. I think the teachers are grossly underpaid. I think the schools are grossly underfunded. I think it takes someone as noble as you, and I think this is a call to action for a lot of people now. This is a big problem.
Yeah.
We have the resources, like we can make it happen. It's like one of those rare problems where there is an answer, and it's literally just like a dollar amount.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, I love that. Well, we are truly impressed with what Garrett is doing for his students. So we're going to give him $5,000 to further his efforts to wipe out school lunch debt. And also, if this is something that you care about, and remember, you don't have to have kids. Like, this affects every community. You know, that even if you don't have kids in your community, like, that are yours, still the kids in your community are growing up to be leaders in your community. This affects everyone. So if this is something that you care about, contact your representative, reach out, make some noise. This is for such a great thing. No student in this country should ever be learning on an empty stomach or just having an empty stomach in general.